That Five Bloods, directed by Spike Lee, follows 4 African-American Vietnam veterans that return to Vietnam. They are in search of the remains of their fallen squad leader and the promise of buried treasure. These heroes battle forces of humanity and nature while confronted by the lasting ravages of the immortality of the Vietnam War. This film is coming out in around 1 or 2 weeks on Netflix, so everybody will be able to watch it very soon. And today I want to discuss why it is probably the most important film of the year. Spike Lee is a director that you either love or hate. He has a lot of phenomenal films and a lot of horrible films. Often in his films talking about racial tension, racism, and black culture. His last film that he made, BlacKkKlansman, won a lot of Oscars and was nominated for a lot of categories. BlacKkKlansman loosely followed the true story of a black policeman who infiltrated the KKK. The complex history of black veterans is rarely reflected on screen, and some old veterans actually said that they were anxious for Lee's exploration and how he would handle the subject. From what we can gather in the trailer is that the characters past and present is shown and that they will likely jump around between the past and the present. We can also see a lot of archival footage in the trailer, so we can probably guess that they will be in the film too and be put in there somehow. The themes of Spike Lee's films are often about racism and racial tension, especially shown in films like BlacKkKlansman or, for many people seen as a masterpiece, Do the Right Thing from 1989. He also had a lot of flops and horrible films, such as his remake of the amazing Korean original Oldboy. But from what we've seen from his films before, we know that he can tackle the themes of racism and racial tension right. And the release timing of The Five Bloods is perfectly set right now, with all of the riots going on in all of America because of the police murder of George Floyd. This is a very heavy topic, and I'm not gonna get political or anything. It's a tragedy, he was murdered, but that's not important in this video. It's important that all of the black people speak up again in this country, in America, and there still hasn't changed anything. And we have right now all of these riots going on, which were going on at that time in the film, or at least in the time period that the film is set in. So I feel like this film will get a lot of hype and a lot of buzz when it finally gets released in a few days. With great cinematographer Newton Thomas Sigel, known from movies like Drive, and a very talented cast with people like Chadwick Boseman, Delroy Lindo, John Reno, Jonathan Majors, Paul Walter Hauser. We have a lot of talent with a theme of racism, which we know that Spike Lee can handle right in a time where racism is one of the biggest topics in the last few weeks. So we have a film that is thematically very important for what is going on right now in America. And we also have a story that is very important for black war veterans that has never been portrayed on screen. So we got two very important things in this film, and this film is coming out right now in a few days, and I can't wait to watch it. I'm not the biggest fan of Spike Lee or people like Chadwick Boseman, but I'm excited to see what he can do with this film, and maybe it'll be one of the best of the year. And I think it was the right decision for Spike Lee to go with this film on Netflix and not push it back for a later theatrical release. Because of what is going on right now, we can't go to the cinema, and putting this on Netflix is probably the place where you can get the most people while still getting a lot of commercial success. It seems to be very emotional, impactful, and even with the aspect ratio change, it's a very experimental film by Spike Lee, probably one of the biggest risks that he has taken to date. Another great part about it is that it is very long. It's about 154 minutes long, so he can put a lot of content into this film. And since we all have to stay at home right now, except you are going on those riots, you can actually watch the film throughout without pausing. You don't have to push it away. You have enough time to watch The Five Bloods, directed by Spike Lee. The film portrays a war that never ends and will never end, especially from what we see now. These riots are important, but in the end they will still probably do nothing for black people in America especially. I'm happy that this story gets shown on screen for everybody out there in the world, and I think it is incredible incredibly lucky for Spike Lee that he exactly put the film here at the right point in time. Obviously, I don't want to say that the death of George Floyd and all of this that is going on in America right now is just there for some commercial success or critical success for Spike Lee. I'm just saying that it is very fortunate for him and this film itself. I am extremely excited for it and I can't wait. Will the film in the end be good? I don't know that. I don't see that being the case, but it might be. But I would definitely watch this film and you should too. Remember the name George Floyd and remember that Black Lives Matter. Thank you for watching.